Paul Hunter is following the developments from Washington. So, Paul, this came right down to the wire.
Adrienne, here's what seems to be the case. The truce has indeed been extended, at least for now, in talks that seem to be ongoing. Hamas had evidently offered, in return for an extension, 7 more hostages, plus the bodies of 3 Israelis. But there was word Israel had rejected that offer, and Hamas was said to be preparing its fighters for battle. Now, talks seem to be still on, so too the truce. All of it after another emotional day for all.
On Egyptian television, images of the last few Israeli hostages released from Gaza by Hamas. For now, 10 Israelis in this group. Earlier, in this video put out by Hamas, 2 Russian Israeli hostages escorted through a chanting, jostling crowd in Gaza, then met by the Red Cross for the drive to Israel, while separately 4 Thai nationals were also sent home. In all, 16 hostages held since October 7th in Gaza, now freed. Overall, that number is roughly 100. In return, roughly 200 Palestinians set free from Israeli prisons, including on this bus the final 30. All under terms of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, now extended. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who's now in Israel, was pushing to keep the truce going. Details on this latest extension still unclear. But the prospect of further heartbreak for one Israeli family, Hamas saying the youngest Israeli hostage known to have been held in Gaza, 10-month-old Kafir Bibas, was killed by an earlier Israeli airstrike, along with his 4-year-old brother and their mother. Hamas offered no proof. Israel says it's investigating. Then there's the continuing broader misery throughout the Gaza Strip. The truce has also allowed some Gazans to go back to their now flattened neighborhoods. Health authorities run by Hamas say some 14,000 Gazans have been killed by Israeli forces since this war began, with bodies, they say, still under the rubble. For all those remaining, some 2 million, now mostly crammed into southern Gaza, the desperation for clean water, fresh food, and proper shelter grows ever more. The extended truce will likely allow in more humanitarian aid, but if and when it expires, would Israel's response to the October 7th attacks by Hamas resume immediately? Says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu unequivocally, yes.
So, Paul, Netanyahu isn't leaving much doubt about where this war is going next.
No, and look, besides pushing for a longer truce, and we're now learning the extension is for 1 single day, the U.S. has been pressing Israel to be extremely mindful of Palestinian civilians in harm's way come the time Israel's assault resumes. But to be clear, with Gaza's roughly 2 million people, now mostly all jammed together in the southern part of the Strip, Israel has underlined if and when that assault does restart, it will indeed be targeting the south. Adrienne.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington tonight.